Hello, welcome back to Nicole, the Career Catalyst. It's been a minute since I've been on here, but I'm so excited to have you here. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Nicole, and for all my returning subscribers, I'm so happy to have you here again. So, this is a space where we get to learn, grow, and live a purposeful life. So, if you're interested in content related to career, whether you're looking to transition from one career to another, or you're unemployed and you don't know how to get into the job market, or you're also looking for ways to relocate abroad, whether it is through scholarships or through conferences, volunteer opportunities, this is the channel for you to stay tuned at and subscribe. So, I have yet another new video this week, so let's dive right into it. Okay, so I want to take the time to first of all appreciate you guys so much for the love and for the support. Like, honestly, I'm so blown away. I'm so grateful for all the comments that have been flooding in my recent video that I uploaded, which I'll leave over here for you guys to check it out. If you haven't checked it out and you're probably looking for a volunteer opportunity, you better check this opportunity because it can help you be able to relocate to Denmark. Now, a lot of you have been flooding my DMs about how to apply for these things. You don't know how to go about it and all of that. And that is the inspiration for this video. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys and walking you through some tips and ways for you to write a motivation letter. Because one of the things that you need to know is that a motivational letter is super important because it cuts across whether you're looking to apply for a scholarship, whether you're looking to apply for a conference, or even a volunteer opportunity. At some point, you're going to need to write a motivational letter, which cuts across all these different opportunities. So today, that's what we're going to be looking at. Okay, so now personally, from my own journey and my experience, I have been writing motivational letters, I think, for the past maybe 10 years or so, because I have relocated abroad through conferences. I have traveled through exchanges. I have also relocated abroad through internships as well as scholarships. So I've literally been all over the place through all these different opportunities. And if there's one thing that I definitely would point out amongst all these opportunities is a motivational letter, because that is one document that is going to always stand out in almost all these applications. Now, for some applications, you may not necessarily write a motivational letter, but you may be asked questions, and those questions, most of the times, they are inspired through that motivational letter. So since so many of you have been asking me, okay, I'm interested, but how can I apply for this opportunity and all of that? This is the video for you. So please make sure that you do not leave this video, because you're going to want to listen and learn. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips and tricks to write a great motivational letter. So number one of the first things that you need to ensure you're including in your motivational letter, even I always tell this to my clients, is storytelling. Like, guys, there is nothing that is going to differentiate you from the crowd of all the people that are applying for that same opportunity that you want, is storytelling. Storytelling sets you apart. Why? Because everybody's story is different. Everybody's experience is different. So whether be it your work experience, or maybe even if you're a student and you don't necessarily have, work experience, but probably you've had some leadership experiences at school, or maybe volunteerships or internships that you've participated in, you can always use that to frame a story of how your journey began, where your journey has taken you, and what you've been able to do so far out of your journey. So when you connect those dots with the particular opportunity that you're applying for, whether it's a conference, whether it's a volunteer opportunity, or even a scholarship, that's how you're going to be able to connect your story with their story. Because it's not just about telling, but it's about showing. So when you show through your story, you're able to connect your why with their why. Number 2 is use relevant examples. I cannot emphasize on the importance of examples, because a lot of the time, so many of the scholarship committees are going to want to connect with that specific example that you're going to give that aligns with them. So let's say, for example, maybe you're applying for a conference, and maybe this conference they're looking for leaders. There's some aspect of leadership in it. Give a specific example in your answer as to how you personally used leadership to your advantage. So it can be maybe through leading a team that you've done in the past, maybe through this volunteer opportunity that you had. How were you able to maximize your leadership to create impact in that community? You need to be very, very specific. Connect your examples with theirs, which is almost similar to my number one of the story. And also, examples are also very, very specific in terms of also just talking about that particular story that you're trying to relate to, and even location. Guys, do not just use common words like community, in my country, because those are huge, big, broad words that anybody in any part of the world can understand and can also use those same words. So, how are you going to differentiate yourself from the rest? Be very specific and tell us which part of your community it is that you created that impact in your country. So whether it's your district, whether it's a state, or whether you're based in a particular city, mention that exactly. That's how you're going to be able to differentiate yourself from the other people, because your example is yours and yours alone. Nobody can own it for you. So when you use these specific examples, you're able to cut through and differentiate yourself from the rest. Number three is align yourself with core values of the organization. Let me give an example. For example, let's say you're interested in applying for there's this scholarship that's in Sweden, which is called the Swedish Global Professional Scholarship, something like that. One of the core traits of that scholarship is that it stands under the UN SDG goals. If you don't know what UN SDG goals are, please go ahead and Google them. We also have other conferences. For example, there is a conference that's going to be happening, I think, in March, if I'm not mistaken, or April, in Thailand. And this conference is being organized by the UN. So it's called UN Bangkok Conference. It's been organized by an organization called Voice for Rights International. Now, whenever you hear any aspect or any element of UN in it, whether it's a conference, whether it's a study scholarship you're applying for, or whether it's even a volunteer opportunity, have it at the back of your mind that anything NGO, whether it's UN, UNICEF, whatever the case may be, they are all related to the SDG goals. In full, this stands for Sustainable Development Goals. And there are over 17 of them. So when you go to Google, you'll check this information out. They have access to quality health. I think they have zero hunger. They have good quality education and so forth, right? So when you look at those 17 sustainable development goals, what is your impact under any of those? What have you been able to do to impact the community under any of those goals? So whether you're in the field of IT, maybe you're in the field of finance, or probably you're in the field of health, how have you been able to create change in your community? So when you're able to identify your background, then you'll be able to know under which sustainable development goal you fall under. And so if you're applying for any UN opportunity, whether it's a scholarship, whether it's a conference that has an aspect or an element of UN in it, always ensure that you're aligning your answers directly with that sustainable development goal. So if you're maybe dealing with mental health, then that means you fall under good health. So probably I think that is SDG 3 or 4, one of the two. So you have to make sure that you're aligning your answer with that sustainable development goal, which at the end of the day will also make you align way better with that opportunity that you're applying for. Because if it's under UN, then that means you're speaking in their language. So always ensure that you speak in the language of the opportunity that you're trying to apply for in order to bridge the gap of alignment. Number 4 is use metrics. This is another aspect that I cannot emphasize enough. Honestly, if you've come this far, this is the most important point that you need to take note of. So please make sure that you're tuned in. Number 4, use metrics. What do I mean by metrics? Metrics are simply numbers. Quantify your achievements. Now, here I'm talking like a recruiter because I've also been working as a recruiter. So some of this knowledge that I'm having is based out of my own recruitment experience. Use numbers. Guys, I cannot begin to emphasize and tell you how much numbers make a huge impact and difference to your motivational letter. So in case if, let's say, for example, maybe you've conducted a project that probably required training people for a particular skill, whatever the skill it may have been, use numbers to differentiate yourself from the crowd, because we want to know, or these scholarship committees want to know exactly how many people were those that you trained. If you dealt with stakeholder management, maybe you were forming partnerships here and there, tell us what were the numbers, how many partnerships were those, what was the impact, what was the result, right? Did it bring any transformational change at the end of the day? Was it positive? Was it negative? Those things can only be quantified and measured easily by numbers. When you include numbers in your motivational letter, you become more specific compared to when you're just writing your answers in a much more general way. There's nothing different and unique about it. And that means it doesn't really hold that much of substantial value. So for you to be able to stand out from the crowd that is also applying for those same opportunities that you want, differentiate yourself with numbers. Use them appropriately and use them accordingly, and you'll be able to see the difference at the end of the day in your own motivational letter. And lastly, number 5, make sure that you go through your motivational letter. Ensure that your letter is grammar free or it's clean. Yeah, because a lot of the times, a lot of people always take this for granted and they don't bother going through their motivational letters again. But you always need to take that time and ensure that you have done your edits properly. Ensure that you have, rephrased and changed your grammar. Work on it. You can use tools like Grammarly, which can help you be able to polish up your grammar in a much more better way. And you can also give your motivational letter to someone else to read it for you before you finally click on that submit button. So with these tips, I hope that you've been able to find value in this video. And I'm sure if you implement these tips, you'll be able to see a difference and you'll also be able to attract some of those opportunities that you're looking for. So comment below and tell me which of these tips are you going to implement today, or which one of them resonated with you the most. Just let's have that discussion in the comments below. And on the other hand, I'd like to thank you so much as well, for continuing to subscribe to my channel. Share it, guys. I'm almost reaching monetization and I would love to be monetized. So I really, really would love and appreciate your support if you can share this video to anyone who needs it. And yeah, as well, just do the usual subscribe, and also feel free to follow me on my Instagram over here. So in case if you want to connect with me, feel free to connect with me on Instagram. And in case if you have maybe any other videos that you'd want me to do, or if you like more of this type of videos where I'm teaching you how to write these motivational letters, or maybe even how to answer some of the questions that are asked in these different opportunities, then feel free to leave that as well in the comments below, and I'll definitely work on a video for that. So thank you so much. That was it for the video. I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Bye for now.